what I say to every company is you have to be using AI to get ahead. And if you're not, you're basically falling behind, right? Because every company should be using AI either to unlock new features or get productivity gains. What I think is, as a VC, what keeps me up at night around AI is when you think about consumer software that was kind of what developed out of the iPhone, it was innovators competing, right? You had Lyft and Uber and others in ride sharing. You had Pinterest and Snap and Meta and social networks. The thing about AI is the big tech companies have a huge advantage because they have huge amounts of data. And so this is going to be a fight of innovators versus the largest tech companies on the planet. And so me personally, I think you're going to see a lot of innovative companies rise very quickly, but also fall very quickly because they are battling some very well-funded large tech companies. And so it'll be interesting to see. I think, we think about AI as a horizontal layer. We invest across the future of money, work, health, and commerce. And we think, obviously, it will disrupt everything. But I think we're in the very early innings of the world of AI. And so we try to instill patience and just keep looking out ahead. I think you're going to see, around content creation, marketing. I think fundamentally you will have some very large shifts, but more in the early innings.
I think it's also really interesting what you said about the big companies and then the smaller sort of disruptors. They could be like a David and Goliath sort of situation, which might be interesting to witness. And maybe, acquisitions along the way.
I think you will see a lot of very modest acquisitions when you look forward 2 or 3 years from now, because, the other thing about AI is depending on where you're playing and using AI, it's also very capital intensive, right? And so, it'll be interesting. But we've had these cycles, right? There was early 2000s and then the iPhone and cloud computing and blockchains.